If you aren't psyched out of your mind over Black Panther, prepare to be, because we are going to be looking at the world building and design at the very bottom of this all. First of all, I'm going to reiterate, I am extremely jealous of anyone who's already seen Black Panther.
So annoying.
Because it looks like it's going to be so good and so much fun and have this completely different look that we haven't seen in superheroes movies before. And a lot of this does stem from the design, the world building, Wakanda, the suit that he wears, the way that this Afrofuturistic world works. Because we haven't seen a world like this in mainstream culture at all, to say the least. And
not Afrofuturism, absolutely not.
Yeah. So you were telling me a little bit about how this diverges from the original Kirby work.
Right, so Jack Kirby and Stan Lee made the Black Panther back in the 60s with Fantastic Four. And the whole idea there was that he was, along with he's the first black superhero in comics, they were making him an African king of a nation where the concept is it has never been colonized, it has never been invaded successfully by white settlers or indeed any invaders. And so much of the tragedy of what has happened with African Americans and other cultures is we don't know what they could have achieved if they were left alone and not conquered and not slaughtered and not enslaved. And here is a country that we get to imagine, yes, what would they have done on their own? And Jack Kirby had them become the most technologically advanced nation on earth by the time the Fantastic Four meets the Black Panther. And Jack Kirby was known for these groundbreaking designs in comics of geometry and these wild mechanics, but that would also be as if they were organic machines that had been grown. And so he used all that in Wakanda, and it's really lovely, but also then the Wakandans had tribal outfits. It wasn't that they all looked westernized. Like they clearly had found a way to integrate technology with the culture. But Jack Kirby was still a white Jewish American, so there was only so far he was thinking. And here with the movie, we actually have African ideas and designs and culture integrated here and inspiring it, not just the clothing, but the architecture and how the technology is shaped, how like their version of a plane is shaped, and how the buildings look on the top, that it looks like thatched roofing on a hut. Like it's really,
it makes sense. Like if you're to think of it from an American-centric point of view or a Western-centric point of view, our architecture has certainly evolved from a certain base point. You know? And it's the same thing, but it's completely different from what we might think of if we're focused on what we're about. Yeah,
and if you go to state to state in America, you can see differences between architecture where the people there were clearly borrowing from Greco-Roman designs, like somewhere in Washington, D.C., and another place where they were borrowing from Mexican, Central American designs. Like it looks different just from how you make just a simple house, like how those two ideas would make a two-story house is very different. And yeah, so to see them so embrace Afrofuturism in this movie is amazing. It's fantastic.
I think we have a few visuals. Okay, so this is a typical Wakanda street, and it does bear the earmarks of, a marketplace. There's baskets, but look at this trolley in the middle, and we have the Wakanda. Is this the Wakanda language?
So they are experimenting with a Wakanda language that they've created.
Even though most Wakandans speak English.
Right, at least for our purposes of the movie, they decided not to have everyone being subtitled.
What, we're not doing the first 10 minutes of the Star Wars Life Day special? Where it's just all Wookiee talk with no subtitles. Okay.
I mean, look at the building.
This is amazing. Actually, now that I think of it, I'm reminded of another Afrofuture, which is in Overwatch. But yeah, the thatching, that's an interesting choice there, because I mean, if you look at, I guess sometimes there's future Asian-looking places that have pagoda-esque inspiration. It makes so much sense.
And the Dora Milaje here, which are basically the special forces of Wakanda, their costumes, how it uses the neck rings and other things that you can recognize that are used in other African cultures, and how they signify rank and such here. Like her outfit, I freaking love this. I love her panther gauntlets, the circlets she's wearing. Like there's an organic quality to all their technology that I think is really attractive.
It's not like cold future that we often imagine.
It doesn't look like European or particularly British and American industrialization.
Well, like if you were to think of maybe movies like Tron or movies where they had like the rings around their shoulders and they're like, it's the future.
Right.
Look how cold and impersonal it is.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
sense
sterile.
that. This has like a personality, has a history behind it. I mean, it's not a real history, though it is based on some African elements, some actual ones. Like there's some Kenyan elements in there, for sure. But I love this world and I wish it was real. And isn't that the goal?
Yeah.
Of creating a world.
And it's what you were saying earlier about we haven't seen a superhero movie like this. That's the fact of Marvel films and Marvel Comics usually tries to give the tagline of it's your universe. There just happen to be superheroes in it. And you know, Tony Stark and the Fantastic Four may have incredible laboratories, but outside their labs, it's our world pretty much. But here with Wakanda, that was, even in the comics, that's been an exception of Wakanda is unlike any place you've been to. This is almost its own micro world.
And is there a lot of vibranium kind of just built into the world?
Right, so that's another thing that a lot of their technology has that ability because of vibranium, this magic almost metal that absorbs kinetic energy and everything and is a great power source. They have it everywhere.
What if everything were Captain America's shield? And also, Captain America has a different shield now. What if? I would watch that movie and I will. Audience, what do I ask? Audience, how many times are you going to see Black Panther? 1 million? Because I might. Let us know below and like and subscribe for more.